Blur off. I don't know why it's blurry, but I don't know. See if we can do anything about that. Okay, that way it's a little bit clearer. So let me clear my screen as much as I can. I don't know why it's still blurry like that. Must be my camera. Hold on. Oh, problem solved. Alrighty, how's everyone doing today? Peace, everyone's Black High Priestess. So I went live on YouTube, on Facebook earlier, and I really liked the scripture that came up, which is 1 Timothy 3:1-7. So before we read that, I just wanted to let you all know that it's early. It's not quite Monday yet, but Legba kind of bloodletted me today. I explained it in my upload earlier, which I'll put the link in, but my mirror was vibrating in a certain way, so I went and paid attention to it. I was going to move it, and then it slipped, and it cut me a little bit, and you know, there was blood and everything, so I disinfected it and all that. But I placed some on my fetish here, and I put some of the blood on my Legba fetish, because I understand that sometimes when I get freak accidents or injuries like that, it's Legba needing that blood offering. Again, I've talked about in some other uploads how sometimes when that happens, it could be that you're under spiritual attack, and the ancestors who have been protecting you require a blood energy offering to continue that protection. And with me in this particular instance, I just believe that I've been doing some research about certain things, you know, dealing with the Bible, dealing with the heavens and some of the entities and you know, things like that. And I think Legba was just kind of, you know, just reminding and reestablishing the responsibility that I have and that I've taken on within voodoo, regardless of what other tools or doctrines or texts that I use to fulfill my purpose, that Legba has shown himself to me. And even though the Most High is an invisible deity, so to speak, there are 7 heavens, and the God with the angelic order and the one that is spoken about in the Bible isn't necessarily the Most High. But again, just having said that, that was a good experience for me. I'm going to do an offering at 3 a.m. You know, I have wine here and everything, but I wanted to cheers with you all. So today I have this spicy ginger soda that I'm going to throw in my chalice here. I already had some earlier when I was on Facebook. And then I'm going to throw in, I have blackberry Mogan David today. I think if you guys can see, that's what I'm rolling with. So I'm going to throw some of that in there. We're going to cheers. Speaking of the angels, some of the things I talked about in the upload earlier was when we're saluting. This is just like a makeshift sangria, how I make with red wine, ginger beer. It's got some lemon on here from my tea earlier, but again, it's just like a makeshift sangria. So cheers. Thank you all for watching. Salud, pros, to good health. And we're gonna salute the powers, which are angelic order. I think they're in the 2nd or 3rd choir. The powers are the order of the angel, that the angels choir, which would represent kings. So I did talk about that in the salutations of the royal court, saluting the royal bloodline, which comes from the reptilian bloodline of the dragon, the naga, the gorgons, you know, the serpents and the dragons of the air and water. And king's blood comes from dragon's blood. Just like, you know, virgin blood also is derived from, you know, like mermaid blood, witch's blood. Only a witch can crown a king. All right. So all of that deals with the royal court. and what those things represent. And in African spirituality, you're talking about those who have the Moorish bloodline that deals with more of the European customs and traditions and lineage, the family crests of the ancient Moors, the black Africans who have European rights and royalty and bloodline and family crest, which is one of the reasons why I don't encourage black people to change their name off of the premise that your last name is a slave name. It could have a lot of European royalty rights that you, if you knew better, wouldn't want to give up, spiritually or socially. So I think that's important. So peace and love, everyone. We're gonna cheers. Salute the royal court. Salute all you all. Cheers again. And I'm gonna have some smoked chalice too, as well. And we're gonna read the scripture, and then we're gonna go make some salmon. Ebony, that's great. I too have definitely been feeling, I just want to re-show your comment there if I can. It's, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, love you too. Peace, Ebony. Thanks for watching. Yeah, it is good to do that. Today's Sunday. Something that I mentioned in my upload is be careful about offering to good. Be careful. I encourage ladies to deal with the female Orisha typically if you're bleeding. But those are two great ancestors, and I definitely feel them both strongly today. Really quickly, speaking of the dragon's blood, king's blood, you know, that reptilian bloodline, the piece that I have on today, the reason I named this one Sirena Sunday Sermon is because I've got on Sirena. Hopefully it's a decent view, but this is Sirena, and she's definitely one of the longer ones. She's a mermaid, and she's also a siren. Y'all can see in the sunlight. And these are dead girl earrings. They match, but they aren't. These earrings go with my dead girl piece. So I've got that going, and I've got the mermaid piece here. So I've just been, you know, wearing some of the jewelry, testing them out, you know, seeing how they look and feeling the energy. So that deals with that virgin blood, that nymph energy. Remember, nymphs are water creatures. Nymphs can be the damsels, the beginning stage of a dragonfly, or certain other things like maybe a seahorse, a horsefish, one of those seahorses. Those can be damsels as well. Okay, good, Ebony. Yeah, you let me know. I got a lot of different ones, and you know, that's why I kind of want to talk about the different ones so you guys can get a feel for those as well. So you might want one of, since you got that strong water woman energy, one of the mermaids, I have 3 mermaids. I have 6 mermaids altogether right now. 3 of them are sirens, and the sirens tend to be, this one is just a mermaid. The sirens have pendants on the bottom, but this is Sirena, and Sirena deals with, if you all know about Mexican bingo, there's a number 6 card in the Mexican bingo deck, and it's called La Sirena, and it shows a mermaid. Well, that relates to the Loa, La Sirena, who is the first stage of Ejuli, the little mermaid who sacrificed her voice in order to be with Agwe. So, you know, these are mysteries, but that, you know, is the energy that came through in this particular piece with the mermaids. The first one I did was Ariel, and then I did Marina, which relates to a Australian Burbank cartoon, an Australian version of the Little Mermaid cartoon from the Burbank film production company, where the Little Mermaid's name was Marina, not Ariel. So I'm a film person, I'm an anime person, I'm a cartoon person, you know what I'm saying? So I watch different things, but understanding how the Loa work and how they operate through the Grimm stories, through, you know, some of those things, you know, I deal with those spirits. So this one, you know, was the third mermaid that I made, and it deals with that composite energy of La Sirena, in her mermaid phase, you know. So enough about that. We've done Chalice. I'm gonna cheers to you all again, and good for you, Ebony. Take advantage of the strong Sunday energy, because that's when you want to deal with Los Guerreros, which is Elegua, Ogun, and Ochosi. And you know, Ebony, that Ogun and Ochosi are always together. So you're dealing with the warriors, which is all three of them. And then you've got Oshun as one, or Osun, the fourth brother, you know, dealing with that four brothers thing. But great, yeah, because you've got Los Guerreros, and that's the four brothers, the warriors. You may want to have a white rooster for Osun, and then if that root, you can put it on a gold or a silver pole. For you, I do silver because of your water energy. I would do a silver pole, but you can put a white rooster for Osun, and then what that rooster will represent is, if it falls over, it lets you know that there's an evil spirit in the house, or that something is wrong in the house that you need to check on or pay attention to, or remove some negative energies or do a cleansing. So that's the fourth brother, but no one can take his head, meaning he cannot be anyone's Ori. So he's that fourth brother, so to speak. But Los Guerreros, you have Ogun is always with Ochosi. So if you, I would suggest for people who, you know, who aren't under the house of one of them specifically, you can put Ogun and Ochosi together in a cauldron and keep them both together, because that's how they stay. And they stay in the forest. You know, like Elegua stays wild in the forest, but he moves around a lot separate from them. They are always together. Ochosi's always invisible, but he's always next to Ogun. So that's that Sunday masculine Orisha energies. And, you know, Sunday is good for the male Orisha and Oshun. And that's what that Los Guerrero energy is. Some say Oshun with the fourth brother. Others say Oshun, the Orisha of love. You know, love and sensuality. So she deals with the sun as well. That's why Sunday is a good day for Oshun as well, along with the brothers. So again, salud. How's everyone doing today? So the scripture that came up that I thought was really powerful, because I kind of wanted to address some of the ladies. I wanted, because in my Uber ride on, you know, to the store, or on the way back, the sister was, you know, when I asked how she was doing and everything, she said she was disappointed in herself for not giving her number to her last customer that asked or whatever. And I said, well, you know, there's probably something that told you maybe it wasn't the best move to do. There's probably a reason why you ultimately didn't do it. And then she said that the last couple guys that she dated were customers of hers, that it didn't work out. So I said, well, you know, you can't feel bad for having wisdom and applying the lessons that you learned to that decision. I said, don't feel bad for that. I said, and if he came around after you already had 2 guys that you dated and he came around, I said, you know, another one's going to be coming around like clockwork anyway. You know, so she agreed and everything. So before I got out of the car, I told her, you know, you're a working woman. Do yourself a favor before you give out your number to the next guy. Ask him how many kids he has, how old they are, does he drive, does he have a job, how long he's been on the job, you know. And because I said, you know, you shouldn't be with a bum, you know, and you should set standards and make sure he meets those standards. And how long a guy's been on the job, I talked about some of the standards that are set in corporate America, because people look at certain things, because some employers might prefer to hire someone who shows that they've been able to be on one job for like 7 years, as opposed to a person who's had like 14 jobs or 21 different jobs in the span of 7 years, because they want to see your ability to commit to something. Some employers are looking for simps, looking for people they can manipulate, so people don't question the rules and regulations or question things that may go against their personal morals that the company requires. But some people are looking for people that they can rely on, and people who are skilled. And when you show you can be on one job for a long amount of time, it shows commitment, it shows ability to excel in the job, it shows that you have earned a skill through that job, and in knowing and becoming more professional at it. So, you know, look at dating the same way as taking applications. If you're serious, you know, about it, not just out for fun, but if you're serious and you want someone to come into your life who if you're a lady, you want someone to come into your life who's bringing manhood, you know, or anyone, gay or straight. But if you need a man to bring manhood and masculinity into your life, you know, there's nothing wrong with making sure that he applies, and he you know, qualifies to do that. So save yourself time and energy and heartache possibly and other things by, you know, just simply asking questions and seeing what a person's intention is to get to know you, because a lot of it can just be wasting your time, and you can do better on your own, and put in focusing on yourself, your business, your job, your, you know, being a parent, whatever it is. Focusing on that will bring things that you need into your life, instead of just allowing anyone who what they're looking for may not be compatible with what you really need in your life, especially if you really need a man with manhood, rites of passage, and masculinity. So having said that, I thought this scripture aligned with a lot of things I was saying to the ladies. So here we go. 1 Timothy 3 verses 1 through 7. That statement is faithful. If any man is reaching out for an office of overseer, he is desirous of a fine work. The overseer should therefore be irreprehensible, a husband of one wife, moderate in habits, sound in mind, orderly, hospitable, qualified to teach, not a drunken brawler, not a smiter, but reasonable, not belligerent, not a lover of money, a man presiding over his own household in a fine manner, having children in subjection with all seriousness. If indeed a man does not know how to preside over his own household, how will he take care of God's congregation? Not a newly converted man, for fear that he might get puffed up with pride and fall into the judgment passed upon the devil. Moreover, he should also have a fine testimony from people on the outside, in order that he may not fall into reproach and a snare of the devil. So again, the devil, you know, Old Scratch, Father of Time, Papa Legba, Eshui Legbara, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want to call him, is the left hand of God, the Punisher. Just like the Christ or the Messiah or Obatala is the right hand of God, the benevolent, or, you know, the they're both sons, so to speak, but that gets tricky. One is more of a Messiah, one is more of a son. Legba deals with the black son and the red son, which deals with Christopher being the Messiah, being the red son, but Lucifer being the anti-Christopher. I don't want to get into that with this upload, but this is just talking about some of the things that I suggest, you know, women look for in a man, in manhood. You know what I'm saying? Like here, you know, irreprehensible, a husband of one wife. Don't accept polygamy as a standard. If you're serious, this here is proving that polygamy was not something that demonstrated highest qualities of a man. It happened here and there, but when you're looking for someone with leadership skills, it says here, a husband of one wife, moderate in habits, sound in mind, orderly, hospitable, qualified to teach, not a drunken brawler, not a smiter, but reasonable, not belligerent, not a lover of money. A man presiding over his own household in a fine manner, having children in subjection with all seriousness, meaning your children are obedient. If indeed any man does not know how to preside over his own household, how will he take care of God's congregation? And this is what I'm saying. You know, a lot of women need to be careful of men these days who are in a male-dominated society with male chauvinism. Men don't have to meet any standards, but require you to have all these certain standards of beauty and intellect and femininity and everything, but they're not meeting the standards of manhood, yet you're meeting the standards of femininity and masculinity, and they're not doing anything. Not a newly converted man, for fear that he might get puffed up with pride and fall into the judgment passed upon the devil. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of people in spirituality who go from amen to hotep to ashe, and then want, you know, and a lot of people want to teach and talk about how much they know and everything, but the responsibility you've taken on within the spirituality, the intention that you have, the purpose of doing the spirituality doesn't align with, you know, the knowledge and wisdom that you claim. It's not about being able to one-up someone with information. It's about being, you know, what is your intention? Are you trying to heal people? Are you just trying to get puffed up with pride? Are you just trying to make money off of it? Are you just doing it because other people do it? And then you get upset when someone else is coming with an intention and a purpose and a healing power or a destructive power or a communication power. So, you know, not a newly converted man, that's very important to see the intention of a person making a change and getting into spirituality and claiming initiation. Initiation means nothing if you don't have a purpose. If you didn't have a calling, a spiritual calling, what's the purpose in getting initiated? If you weren't guided by the spirits themselves to get initiated, but guided by your own ego and your own need to fit in and your own need to be better than someone and your own need to maintain certain qualifications within your business so you don't lose clientele to the next person who is bringing spiritual healing probably for free to create freedom, then there's no need to get initiated. That's not what these things are for, especially when you're a revolutionary and you're using spirituality as a revolutionary tool, weapon, you know, and craft. You need to better yourself. It's about bettering yourself and achieving certain things, and, you know, not getting upset when someone else knows something different than what you know, because you have been your ego has been boosted so much within a small group of people who aren't really fulfilling any particular purpose. So, moreover, he should also have a fine testimony from people on the outside in order that he might not fall into reproach and a snare of the devil. So again, in terms of dating, ladies, just, you know, double check. If you're dealing with the guy, you know, it's you know, don't violate his privacy, but you may want to talk to his exes. If you're dealing with a man who is divorced and something like that, you may want to find out the woman's side to see whether or not this guy is just trying to escape a responsibility that he has, you know, and escape karma, or whether or not he's leaving baggage behind and he's ready to take on a new woman in his life in whatever way. Yeah, just have a fine testimony from people on the outside. You know, of course, there's going to be haters and things like that, but really, actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. So remember that. People will forget what you say, but they will remember what you do. They will remember how you make them feel. All right, well, on that note, we're going to, I wanted to, I called it Salmon in Scripture 1 because the first one was like part 0, but I wanted to also call it Fool Me Once because, you know, I wanted to mention the importance of how, you know, hopefully y'all can still hear me, let me know if you can't, the importance of how she learned her lesson when my Uber driver decided not to give her number out a second time. And even though she felt bad and she felt like she missed out an opportunity, what actually happened was she learned her lesson. And she understands the importance of taking herself seriously, taking her standards seriously. And that was just kind of the energy I got. I just kind of wanted to talk to the ladies a little bit about how we deal with men. So for the salmon, I have put the leftover oil and the leftover oil gravy that I had. I put it back in here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some more olive oil to that. I'm gonna start, and then I'm gonna heat it up. And then I have these type of potatoes this time, these Simply potatoes, and they have sour cream, chive, because I wanted a little creaminess to it. And then I just got some salmons, just some fresh salmon here. So I have 2 pieces. I think I'm just gonna do one for now and put the other one up. My hands are clean. Olive oil. I hope y'all can hear me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna olive oil the salmon up. I'm gonna get this nice big piece right here. I'm gonna throw some olive oil on it. I'm gonna give it a quick rinse with some just like warm, almost cold water. I'm just gonna rinse the salmon really quickly. Just really quickly. I don't want to kill the fishiness, but I just want to give it a rinse. Whatever sweat, you know, and you know, I'm just oiling the salmon here. Put a little more olive oil on it. Get that together. I'm actually gonna do this over the pot so y'all can see here. How's everyone? Go. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. See, that's what these smartphones, they're not as smart as they need to be. But neither am I, because I did all this without having, I started oiling without having, but it's olive oil, so it doesn't matter, you know, it can get all over. So I'm gonna put some sea salt. see. Cover it with sea salt, the top. And black, a pepper medley on the fine grind, because the fine grind tends to stick to the salmon better for sauteing. So I got it on fine, and then I'm gonna flip this and do the other side. Salt and Himalayan sea salt. There we go. All right, and pepper on the other side. I like flavor, as y'all can see. I like it. I like to bring out the flavors in that way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and flip it, and as you can see, it you know, there's some capers and stuff from the sauce, but as you can see, it stayed on pretty well. I'm gonna cook the bottom side first. I'm gonna add a teeny bit more olive oil in, and we're gonna throw this over here. I want to try and get more of the cooking on the camera this time for y'all. So let me know what you guys thought of the scripture too. So I'm gonna throw it on this heat here. Low heat for now. And what I'm gonna do is put it on low heat, and then I cover it. I cover the skillet with this plate, and then I can put things on top. Gonna have a little sip here. Cheers. And I'm gonna put this other piece underneath for now until it's time to do the potatoes. And what I have here is what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna heat up the spinach, onion, and tomato mixture with the olive oil and stuff. I'm gonna heat that up in the pot here. And I'm gonna save that and throw it back in there. And really quickly, I've got some lemon here. I used a little bit earlier in my tea. But I'm gonna cut a few more lemon wheels. One. This one's a little thicker. Two. I think that'll do it. And I'm actually gonna take this lemon here, since I don't really need it. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add it in. So that's not too hot yet, but it is. So I'm gonna even lower the heat a little bit, and I'm just gonna add the. I'm gonna sprinkle this on top, and I'm gonna add it so it can season the olive oil. I'm gonna add some more lemon on the top here. Squeeze that one in, and with these two, yeah, yeah. Thank you. And with these two, I'm actually gonna cut these in half here. Cut those wheels in half, and I'm gonna just throw them all around the salmon. 4 wheels. These ones are kind of thick too, so I'm just gonna let those marinate. And I'm gonna take this one that's a little older, and I'm gonna save it for compost. All right, and and you know what you can also do with these older ones here. What I can also do with those is I can add them into the Tupperware, and it'll keep the fish fresh. So what I'll do here is to preserve this piece of salmon here. I'm just gonna throw it in with these lemons, with those old lemon peels here, and it'll stay fresh. I'm almost tempted to throw a little salt on the top to let it stay fresh and marinate. You can also do that too. But as of now, I'm just gonna work with that, and even Turn the heat up a little bit. I'm gonna cover the salmon again. So on the bottom it's getting cooked. On the top there's some steam coming to steam it. I'm gonna take some of the oil from the spinach here and I'm gonna let it marinate with the salmon here, and that'll keep it nice and fresh for maybe tomorrow. I might do another upload. Just some of that excess oil there. And I'll let that stay with the salmon, and I'll use that like I'm using the excess oil. Like I said, I'm showing you guys how to recycle and things like that. Low heat. All right, so we're gonna pop this in the fridge for now. Keep that fresh for tomorrow. Okay. Toss that. So how is everyone otherwise? I like the salmon inscription. Like I said, you know, I did a bibliomancy, and I was told by the Most High that my best diet is to, you know, just have salmon, not just any old fish, but salmon specifically. So I have a few chopped olives here that I'm gonna throw in as well, and I'm gonna throw these around a little bit here, just in the sauce here, and then I'm going to flip a few more chopped olives there for flavoring. I'll flip it in a minute, but I'm gonna throw some more capers in, a few more, and some caper juice too. And I'll save the rest for the one tomorrow. So I'll throw some capers on top of there. Let it steam for like another minute. I'm gonna start the spinach. I'm gonna start heating that up now. And I'm gonna just sometimes this stove doesn't always light, so I gotta borrow some fire. Work with this flame here. If I can. And there we go. Spark this eye up. That way you guys can see how that works, and you know, some fire there. Cheers again. And I'm just gonna put a lid on that. Put these capers away, save them for tomorrow, and then I'll be able to buy. Once I like to use things up completely, and then buy new ones if I can. So like I said, I got 2 salmons. I'll probably be eating these for the next couple days, next few days. It's looking good so far. Yeah. And spinach, onion, tomatoes. One thing I did forget is I do want to put a little bit more garlic, more minced garlic in this sauce here. If I could open it. See, that's what happens when you get greasy hands. Oh. Yeah, garlic, right? Yeah, I'm one of those too, Ebony. So what I'm going to do is, as I flip this salmon here, as I flip it, I'm going to let some of the juice come from under. Just going to give it a flip really quick. It's really low heat because this is stovetop, you know. It's stovetop, and I don't want to overcook it. I want it to be nice and juicy. You know, and then you always just want to save room for other temperatures, save room for it to still get heated from the spinach, because I like to put my salmon on top of a bed of spinach. But I'm just going to throw some more garlic in here. I love to use my hands. It's really good. You know, cooking with love requires using those hands, y'all. So I'm going to do the garlic in there, let it steam on that. Steam on that note. I wanted to let you guys know that if if you want to create a gravy out of a sauce, out of a juicy sauce, or a moist sauce, or moist excess to something that you saute, you just remove whatever meat or whatever, you know, like whatever you have, remove whatever you cooked with, and leave the sauce in there, and just add a couple tablespoons or teaspoons of flour. You know, whatever flour you like. And that flour will just really simply thicken it up. Now, they do have certain particular ones. It's something with an S, I feel like. But they do have certain ones that will make a gravy consistency. And you can add the powdery whatever to it, and it'll make a gravy consistency. But you can really just do it with flour. You can really do a flour and then maybe a little bit of butter or, you know, oil or something, but just add some flour to it. It'll thicken it up, and then you have a nice gravy. And the amount of flour you add will depend on the thickness of the how you want the gravy. Because I'm doing potatoes again, like I showed you guys. So that is, like you see, the steam is coming up. So I'm gonna flip it over again. That's good for the top part. It's a pretty thick fillet, and things are going well with this. So at this point, I'm just going to throw some of the gravy on top like that, like so. Just spoon it up and then throw it on top. Let it saute. And I'm just going to cover this up for a couple more minutes. And then I'm going to turn the heat off. The spinach is pretty much done. All it had to do was heat up. All it had to do was heat up. So, and I had it on heat a little, maybe just a tad bit too high. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to keep the lid on it, turn the heat off with that, and I'll be right back since I am almost actually ready to make my plate. Like I said, this is just me dealing with the leftovers and showing y'all how to work with those. So, and then I'll have extra olive, tomato, organic tomato, and lemon for the next batch. So I'm going to throw those things in a container real quick if I have one. Hold on, let me get my charger. So how is everyone? You guys let me know if you like the salmon in scripture episodes. Let me see. I don't know if, oh, there, that's a little better. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Hope y'all can still hear me decently. I'm trying to do like that. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay still. I'm trying to put this some type of way. Okay, that should work. I hope you all can hear me. I'm going to have one more. I'm going to turn the heat off now with the salmon because, like I said, I don't want to overdo it. It's looking really good at this point. That's good. That's good. It's for stovetop. It's not going to be overdone. I can keep the heat on it. And like I said, the gravy's going to go great on top of the mashed potatoes. And then I'm going to make the plate in a minute. All right, everyone. Thanks for your patience. Let's see. Right. So cheers. I did add some more capers. One thing I did want to do is I'm going to just put a shot of red wine vinegar around the sauce here. And I'm just going to let it soak up a little bit. I really like that it soaks up some of the moisture. So I'm just going to throw some really quick heat on that just to singe that vinegar a tad bit. And I'm going to put the spinach on the plate already, right in the middle, like last time. Throw that in the middle, bed of the spinach, right in the middle. I'm going to throw the rest in this container here for now. And I'm going to rinse this pot out real quick. Like I said, I only got a couple pots for now. I'm going to get some more since I'm doing cooking for you guys. Let's give it a quick rinse. And I'm going to keep the salmon hot in there. And I'm going to throw the potatoes in. I'm going to throw this under. I'm just going to switch this actually. And I'm going to throw these potatoes on. Like I said, these are like instant potatoes. They're already pre-made. So all you have to do is heat them up. It's not, you know, it's, you know, they're pre-made already, so all you have to do is heat them up. Just looking and seeing. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff, you know. It's got a, you know, a few preservatives in it, but it's really easy, you know, and I like the way it works, so I'm just going to pull some of this back, and I'm going to put it back in the fridge. But I'm going to scoop, you know, just about half of it, you know, about half per piece of salmon. You know, it'll shrink a little bit. And, you know, get some of the juices in there too, because you want to keep the creaminess, because again, these are real potatoes. It's real potatoes and everything. So I'm going to throw this back in the container like that for now. You know, put them in another container, but I'm just going to throw this back in the fridge. And it'll just take a couple minutes to heat up. So, and it's really, these are nice and creamy, nice and fluffy. It's like homemade potatoes, but it's like someone else did the mashing and the, you know, when you make homemade potatoes, you boil the potatoes, get them soft, you know what I'm saying? You can boil them in salt water if you want, but get them nice and soft. And then once they're soft, you mash them. You add butter, add, you know, some milk, or, you know, milk or cream, however you like. Some people like to add sour cream at that point. And I'm just going to toss a little bit of olive oil. So I don't want it to get too watery, but just to coat the pan here. And I'm a, you know, and so you, then once they're all mashed, you would add, you know, butter, milk or cream. You can add garlic at that point, add some seasoning, mash them up and fold them up until they're really better, until they're you know, mashed. You know, some people remove the skins from it, but once they're mashed, you can then blend it all in and to get it to a nice fluffy texture, or you can, you know, do them however you want. But that's how you would make potatoes from scratch, you all. and they go good with chives. I actually prefer shallots to onions. So again, cheers everyone. And you know, while these are getting done and everything's getting done, I just want to add one last thing of you know, just remembering the scripture of 1 Timothy, and just remembering some of the things that you should really look for in leaders. You know, things that you should look for in so-called leaders. So some of the moisture on the plate here is dripping, so I'm just going to throw it right in the potatoes there, and I'm going to set this up really nice. Going to wipe that off. Kind of decorate this a little bit. So I like to, I'm going to let these heat up a little bit more now that they're getting good and fluffy. See y'all, they're instant, so like I said, it only takes a couple minutes to just heat them up. And then everything, like I said, this is a leftover meal. I started yesterday, so these are kind of leftover ingredients. I only had to get more salmon and more potatoes. So remember things that you should really look for in your leaders and in masculinity and in men, and think about how those standards that were in 1 Timothy line up with how the men are in your life, or you know, how they line up with some of the leaders who speak and get on pedestals and everything. But are they bringing value, and do their lives show that they have the ability to be leaders? Remember, the qualifications of the president is similar to those, you know. So that deals with superiority, having those type of standards. So let's set new standards for ourselves, people, you know, of the black race, and you know, just humanity at large. All right, so cheers. Don't forget to save your seeds. If you're blessed to have fruit that has seeds in it, like these lemons do, save them by all means. Or if you don't want to save them for yourself, save them and sell them to people who understand that seeds is like a form of currency at this point. So I'm going to do what I do, but I'm actually just going to do like a half and half. Last time I put the potatoes all around. I'm just going to kind of put like a half moon here. Put them halfway around. I can smell the sour cream. It gives them a creaminess. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to add just some black pepper, coarse black pepper here on top of this. And use this up. Okay. Throw the potatoes in the oven here. And I'm going to just add a little more black pepper on top of these potatoes. And let them, and I'm just going to shake some salt on top of it. Not going to do too much seasoning with the potatoes. Just a little Italian seasoning. That's just how I'm feeling. So, all right, that's a little warm, but this is the main thing we have. Hope y'all can hear me all right. So I'm going to put the whole fish this time because I am actually going to eat this. And I'm going to throw it on top of the spinach, but just kind of like sitting up on the lemon right there. And one on top. And then the other. There we go. And some of this gravy here. It still has some salmon and stuff. Like I said, I don't have any flour right now, but I just want to let you all know you can do that. So I'm going to get this gravy here that still has some salmon and everything. And it's got salmon, capers, the lemon juice. It's got the works. And I'm going to just put it right here. So it's just kind of, I can dip the potatoes in as I go. I'm not going to smother the potatoes because there's a slightly different gravy to the spinach and oil with the gravy with all the fish flavor in it. So I'm just going to add a little bit more on top of the fish. And, you know, just save, like I said, save the rest for the next batch. And just reuse all the flavors. They marinate a lot when you, sometimes leftovers are better because they marinate a lot. So here we go, everyone. What do y'all think? All right. Here we go. That's a nice shot. That's nice. I should probably get like a better background or something. I don't know. Here we go. That's a nice background, as you can see. It looks beautiful. Thanks, Ebony. Hope you all can hear me okay and everything like that. It does say low battery, but you know, just not very expensive at all. You know, I'm definitely on a budget and everything, but again, this is my way of giving back, you know, giving some mysteries, just sharing some things since people have been donating and helping out, and I've been getting, you know, things that I need. So I think that'll do it. I'm gonna cheers again. And thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace and love.